But our foreign affairs correspondent, Amy Kellogg, is joining us once again from Milan, Italy, to help bring perspective to this. Amy, what's the latest?
Hi, Jim, Allison, and Dave. Well, one moment that has not gotten a lot of play, but was very interesting, apropos of willing partners, was when President Trump was caught on a hot mic talking with France's President Emmanuel Macron. And he said, as crazy as it sounds, I think that Putin wants to do a deal for me. And a lot of people are saying that Putin will not do a deal for anyone. Putin will only do a deal if it suits himself in the end, because he has these illusions of grandeur. He wants to join the pantheon of great czars who expanded Russia's territory, and he will only be brought to the table when he feels that there is no better outcome for himself. What we're waiting to hear about right now is whether, in fact, a meeting between Presidents Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin will happen, followed up then with President Trump. Trump seems very hopeful that this meeting will go ahead within the next couple of weeks. The Kremlin has been a bit more cagey. And the other issue that we are waiting for, want more flesh on the bones of, is the idea of security guarantees. Because if a deal is eventually arrived upon, Ukraine will need to know that it is safe and that Russia will not go back in and try to take more territory. And Ukraine has been burned in the past. In 1994, when it gave up all the nuclear weapons it inherited from the Soviet Union in what was called the Budapest Memorandum, great powers agreed that its territory would remain safe and intact and retain its integrity, and that has not happened. So a lot looms ahead.
Yeah, anything short of an Article 5 guarantee by another name seems to be a complete failure of all this. And as we look forward, what is Vladimir Putin accomplishing by kicking the can down the road? It seems he's escalating his attacks. What are you seeing, Amy?
Yeah, but he is apparently kicking the can down the road, and he continues to attack Ukraine, and Ukraine continues to fight back. Putin has the advantage for now, and maybe forever. Of course, the population of Russia is multiple times that of Ukraine, so there's more manpower. Ukraine, however, has a much more motivated fighting force because they are defending their territory. So Ukraine has been incredible staving off the attacks as well as it has, but Ukraine is running out of men and running out of arms, and so Putin, yes, Putin will press on as long as he can, and that gets us to the point of the ceasefire too. When Trump went to Alaska to meet Putin last week, he said that this would be a failure if no ceasefire was agreed, and no ceasefire was agreed. And Trump is now saying that a peace deal can be struck without a ceasefire happening first. But we heard European leaders pushing on that point yesterday, saying, if you want the killing to end, we need a ceasefire, and then we can talk about the outlines of a peace plan.
So, Amy, what's the upshot of these meetings that we've watched? These high stakes meetings, first in Alaska, then in Washington, D.C. What's changed?
Well, Allison, not much has changed, because the real meat on the bones of this will have to be whatever territorial concessions Ukraine will need to accept, at least temporarily, or until Putin is gone and another generation can reverse course. And also the outline of a security arrangement, and all of that remains very nebulous. I think there's a momentum in terms of people feeling motivated, whether it's the European leaders who are standing firmly by Ukraine's side, or President Trump, who seems to feel that the wheels are turning. But at the end of the day, this meeting between Zelensky and Putin needs to happen for the two countries to decide what they're willing to give up. And for Putin, that would be a very difficult meeting to have, because he considers Zelensky below him in stature, that he's not a legitimately elected leader, which Putin obviously is not either, but also he's called him a fascist. And so for Putin to actually sit across a table with Zelensky would be a very big ask. So nothing concrete has happened. It's just whether we can have faith in the fact that the wheels here are turning faster than they seem to have been in months past.